Hey everyone! Today I'm going to reveal why my DIY camper build sucks, so you can hopefully avoid the same mistakes that I made. For those new here, I'm Dee. A few months back, I completed a $65 do-it-yourself car camping build in my Hyundai Santa Fe Sangria. And at first I was very pleased with my build, but after a few short trips to kind of test my build out, I realized just how much it actually sucked. And it was not working out the way that I thought it was going to work out in my head. So, disclaimer, if you are a solo car camper and you don't have to worry about removing your build and then putting it back in to maybe perhaps accommodate a two-person setup, or maybe you have to haul stuff around, like in my example, I have a daughter in college 10 hours away. So, a few times a year, I haul her stuff back and forth down to college. And when I do that, I had to remove my build. And then I also had to remove my build to accommodate a two-person setup. So disclaimer, if you don't have to do that, the $65 DIY build that I did will probably actually work really well for you if you stick to the right measurements and placement of your build. So here's my first issue that I had with my DIY build. I built the frame too close to the back seats, even though I probably measured like 3 times. The problem there is my mini table shelf was screwed to my frame. So every time I needed to use the second row seats, it would push my table shelf just a little bit further back, which eventually made it unstable. And a screw actually popped out of the bottom of the shelf. So if I were to build a frame again, instead of having kind of legs, I think I would make it one complete like rectangle, an actual frame with a base that goes all around instead of legs, so that there would be more support, or maybe even avoid building a frame altogether and perhaps remove the back seats that I don't actually use and put a cot in its place. Issue number 2, even though I built it to be removable, I did not think about where I actually placed the screws. So I ended up placing the screws specifically for the shelf at the bottom of the shelf. So I like screwed upwards. So every single time I needed to remove my build, I had to get up underneath the shelf with the drill and, pull the screws out, or unscrew them that way. And it was a little bit challenging to do because there's limited space between the bottom of the car and where the shelf itself and the screws were attached to the frame. So I would have to strike like a yoga pose to get those screws out in order to remove my build. I also thought there was going to be enough space for my legs and my feet to hang down. That did not end up being the case because I didn't think about the size of my fridge. Now, even though in my head I measured it out and it made sense that I could still put my fridge down in that area and be able to comfortably hang my feet and my legs down, that did not work out the way, again, how it worked out in my head. I even tried putting my refrigerator behind my passenger seat and moving that passenger seat up. But to me, it was just inconvenient because when I cook in my car, I want everything to be, within arm's reach. That way I don't have to move all around the car and resituate things. So that didn't work for me. Plus, this refrigerator has a compressor, so it has to be on a flat, kind of even surface. Now, you're probably thinking I could have maybe used like a piece of wood board or even my cutting board to make that happen. And I thought about it, but again, it was just too inconvenient because when I'm cooking, I want everything to be in arm's reach. So my fourth issue, and this may sound a little bit strange, but because of all the extra storage that I had underneath my bed, I actually found that I brought a lot of stuff that I did not need. And when I car camp, I enjoy doing it in a minimalistic way, not a lot of clutter, only bringing things that I absolutely need. So I had 4 of these bins right here underneath my bed, in addition to clothes. So it was too much. And even though it was out of sight, it kind of made it a hassle or a pain to get to the things that I actually did need and use on a regular basis in my car camping setup. Issue number 5, I mistook soot for mold. I was taking the build apart to go pick up my daughter from finishing up her junior year in college a few weeks ago. And when I was unscrewing a few pieces, it looked like there was mold on two of the supports, kind of near the shelf, the table shelving area. So immediately I was like, oh no, I can't be having mold in my car. So I took those two pieces of board and I threw them in our little dumpster for our house. Not dumpster, but you know, the outdoors trash cans. Well, then I realized as I was removing everything out of my car, my SUV, that it was not mold. We had gone on a camping trip where we used one of those little portable charcoal stands. And at some point, I must have placed that on top of my cutting board. Let me show you. See? Well, that soot must have rubbed up against the wood in my build at some point. But it was too late. I had already threw the two pieces of wood in the little outdoor trash can, and I was not going back to get the wood out of the trash can. So it is what it is. I threw it away, but I did keep the remaining parts of my build. So if I do decide to go ahead and complete another build, I still do have those pieces of wood that did not have soot, which I mistook for mold, on them. So you may be thinking, what now? And I'm actually thinking the same thing. What now? I've kind of actually been enjoying going back to my no build setup, just you know how I had it before when I first started, where I just have everything over on one side, like my refrigerator, my water, power station, my little kitchen cabinet, all that over to one side, and then my bed on the other side. I've actually kind of been liking going back to how I started car camping because it's simple and it really just works. Everything is right there within reach and it really works for me. With that being said, even though this setup works very nicely, I still kind of want to put a build in my vehicle because I do miss being able to hang my feet down. That is one thing that I really still want with my car camping setup is I want to be able to, inside my car, you know, be able to put my feet and my legs down, but still having all the seats down. So I'm still doing some brainstorming and researching on Pinterest and all over the web to kind of give me some ideas of what I could try next. And I feel like now that I have the experience of one build under my belt, plus the, 2.5 years of car camping experience, I think I can really come up with something better that's going to work more long term, that I won't have to remove so often when I do need a two-person setup or when I need to haul my daughter's stuff back and forth from college, which, you know, there's only one more year of doing that. But if I do another build, DIY build, I think it only can get better from here. It might come across that I'm being a little hard on myself, but I'm not. I'm just letting y'all know these are all the different things that I noticed and that what you can avoid in your build if you decide to do a DIY build. It's a learning experience, and that's what I'm taking it as. So what do you think? Should I go ahead and attempt another build or just leave it as it is? Maybe remove the two seats that I don't use and use that as a bed platform with storage underneath that I need to use wisely this time. I don't know. You'll have to stay tuned to see what my decision is and if I decide just to leave it as it is or if I go ahead and build it out again. If you enjoyed the video or if you're new around here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and also leave your comments below. What do you think I should do? Or what do you think I will do? Dun dun dun! Happy car camping and safe travels. I will see you all next time. Bye!